Happy Monday. Oh my gosh. I hope you all are having a good day so far. I'm gonna adjust my little crown, my gay little crown. It's further down on my little head. Okay. Oh my gosh. I don't know about you, but I'm full of chili and cornbread. Yummy. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a relaxing day. I know it's the start of a new week, but I hope you all are bunkered in. Tonight we're supposed to get a freeze warning, or we have a freeze warning for tonight. So it's supposed to get really cold. Finally a real game. And it was just like 80 degrees the other day, so you know, weather is fake, climate change isn't real. Yeah, good stuff. So now I've got a blanket on in real life, but also in Twitch life. I just wish things would like normalize just a little bit. It looks like it's going to, like I looked at the forecast for the week, but the freeze warning I wasn't expecting. I'm glad I didn't plant any plants yet. I got some ferns that I want to put outside, but they're gonna have to stay inside for a little while, I guess. Okay. Sorry, I'm sleepy. It's a good thing that we're doing something low-key tonight. But yeah, if you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. My name is Kat. I'm a VTuber, I'm a variety streamer, and I'm a little fellow in your computer. I use she, they pronouns. You can use them interchangeably if you'd like. This is an 18+ stream, so if you're under the age of 18, you can't be here. I'm sorry. You gotta leave. If you like what I do, I got a couple things you can do to support the stream. Some of which are free. You can watch the stream, of course. You can tell your friends about it. You can you can follow the stream and get access to a bunch of my emotes that you can use in chat. You can take clips of things you find funny. You can share those clips around. You can subscribe and get access to even more emotes that you can use in any chat that you want. And you get me closer to getting more emotes. If you have Amazon Prime, like a Prime Gaming account, or if you have Amazon Prime, you can hook your Twitch to that and get a free sub. And drain Jeff's pockets a little more. I got alerts if you cheer with bits. I got alerts if you send me a tip. I get 100% of tips. And they're not required of you, but they're highly appreciated. There's a link to do that in my description. Yeah. So tonight, we're gonna play King of the Castle again. There was an update to the game that hopefully tackled some balancing issues. I'm excited to see what that means. So yeah, let's just get into it. I'm gonna open the game in just a second. I'm gonna click on it first. Turn this music down. Whoop. Wrong button. There we go. Get out of here. I picked the King one. Think we're good now? Yeah, there we go. Alright. So I'm going to check to see royal buffs, earlier laws, shorter ambitions, and monarchs vote. A new taxation feature to bribe or tax regions individually. 4 to 6 player games improved with vote balancing. Import your friends' games with our new save sharing system. Scheme rebalancing. New events, new content. Scheme and noble tooltips, new hats. I kind of want to see the hats. Hat. Well, these aren't new. Maybe if I look at these. got some new hats. Cool. I like the circlets. Okay. So, last we left off, I got murdered. I got overthrown by a rebellion. The barons and I think the patricians both rebelled. And then the barons dude took over. So let's continue. Okay. Feel free to join. You can join at any time while we're playing. You don't necessarily have to join on this screen. But you can join the game with !join and then your preferred pronouns. So he, she, or they. And you ought to be sorted back into where you were before, but I can't remember. I think they're gonna do something about the balancing in that regard. Oh yeah, Gem's at a 3, because their person died twice already. Your guy invented the guillotine and then had it tested on him. Yeah, triple crit. Hi, Cracky. Yeah, no problem. Even if you're sleepy, you can join and your character will like be able to be like if you join now and you come back at a later stream, you'll still have the same character. So you're free to join if you want. I might eventually just want to scope it out for no problem. I actually can't begin until somebody else joins. So I'm plugging. I'm like, please, somebody get in here. Yeah, I don't want to. Usually there are more people here. I'm like groveling in other discords. I'm like, please. We'll be patient. In the meantime. Seen any good movies lately? Everyone was getting used to you starting late. I wasn't starting late this time. I only started late a little bit. Kinda. I had to go to the bathroom. I had to get my little crown on. I had to get my little blankie on. Come on now. I've set a precedent. Well, now I don't know what to do. if I joined? Oh, thank you, Cracky. You didn't have to do that. No way! Wait, I shouldn't be able to do that. Hang on, I'm sorry. Going back. Please join again. I didn't think that would work. I shouldn't be able to have a vote. I didn't know it would work. Thanks. But yeah, that was really nice of you, Cracky. I'm just using, like, the goals that Twitch suggests. They're like, hey, you want to use this number? And I'm like, that's a cool number. I'll join so you can play. Thank you, Cracky. Hopefully other people show up. This game usually draws a crowd, so I'm like, I don't know what to do. Thank you, Cracky. Okay. So our new monarch has taken over from the barons of the March. Their region is right here in red. They killed me. So now I'm this woman. Your Majesty, you may have won the throne from Queen Cat, but you must still answer to the council. As is tradition, they will decide what happens at your coronation. What? But it's my coronation. This isn't an absolute monarchy, Your Majesty. Everything has to be run past a council vote. Even this. Shall we call the nobles in? Okay, so you guys are gonna vote. When I say go, you're gonna type !vote and then the letter of your choice. And here are your options. A. Host a lavish parade with jugglers and fountains of wine. B. Proceed with a religious ceremony that honors the ninth god. The ninth god, for lore reasons, is the most common religion. It's very Catholic coded. C. Throw the queen in the river. D. Troops shall bear the queen through the streets atop a shield. And I'm gonna make it so that you can't throw me in the river. I get a veto on one vote. We haven't done that yet. Alright. I'll let you vote how you wish. Go ahead and vote. You're right, we haven't seen what that does. Wahoo! It is decided. The queen will be thrown in the river. It's okay, Cracky. Stability is now civil. Authority is now dubious. Let me get changed out of my nice robes. The nobles pick you up and carry you out to the Treadwater River, hurling you into the shallow water with a cheer. Hooray! When you climb back up the bank soaking wet, the Chancellor steps forward and places the crown upon your head. Is it your imagination or some of the nobles' stifling giggles? Yippee! Yippee! We bloody well pulled it off, didn't we? The barons are finally in charge, and we can sort this kingdom out. Now, just remember our little arrangement. We put you on that damn throne, so you do as we tell you, got it? Where'd my mouse go? There we go. I'm queen now, you can't push me. No. Glory to the march! Huzzah! Now introduce yourself to the rest of the council, but don't forget what I told you today. I am a puppet queen. So far. A pleasure, your esteemed highness. I hope to see our kingdom prosper and grow wealthy under your reign. May the ninth god bless your reign, your highness. I trust you will conduct yourself with honor and faith. The council hall immediately fills with raised voices. Meanwhile, yeah, your character, if you own the game, and it's like $5, if you own the game and you join someone else's game, your customized character will show up on screen. So it's a pretty neat incentive to get the game. Obviously you don't have to. But also owning the game means that your guy will show up more often. What do you think? Will she be a good little queen and do as she's told? Too early to tell. We should have a backup plan just in case. Your Majesty, the first few years of your reign are the most difficult. You're new and unproven. The nobles of the council will scheme against you, hoping to kick you off the throne and put their own puppet claimant in your place. Oh no! To defeat their schemes, you must secure an heir, and prove that you are worthy of the crown by completing an ambition. My question is this. When you die, how do you hope the kingdom will remember you? Since we rebelled, or since you rebelled, you'll never have an heir that survives. Did my last one die? I'm pretty sure I died, but I think my wife and my child got away. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna be the greatest queen that ever lived. I see. You're the type who likes to build lots of statues of yourself, aren't you? I suggest over the next years you focus on proving your authority as much as possible. Check behind the sofa. Once you have an heir, I will return to discuss how your ambition is progressing. Good luck, Your Majesty. Are you being a tyrant, this streamer? Hi, maidens! Don't forget to join that game. Sabine of the Vulcanchicks bloodline, well-known marcher elder, stands before a blazing hearth, shouting and swearing. I knew it! A few months in the luxury of the palace and Queen Yvette has gone soft. Yeah, they threw me in the river. Don't we deserve a real baron on the throne? Oh, okay, so barons. I think that's just Jim. You get to vote on what scheme you would like to do to, overthrow me. Would you like modernization? Goal, lower others' military. B, propaganda, lower stability. C, gunpowder, lower authority. Yeah, the other three kingdoms, or the three kingdoms that I preside over, immediately start scheming to take over. Oh, we have 2 barons. Uh-oh. So it's gonna randomly pick one between the 2 of you. Propaganda. Lower stability. You raise stability by throwing me into the river. The barons plan to persuade the population that only a charismatic general can protect them. First, the common folk must be afraid. To advance their scheme, the barons must lower stability to 4 or less in 3 seasons. So right now my stability is at 6. You're gonna have to work pretty hard in the next 3 seasons to get it under 3. Is 3 or under? Yeah, that's pretty low. Torquata of the Esperatacat lineage, well-known southern prodigy, stands bathed in sunshine, speaking softly. The barons have the throne, so I'm confused why they want to overthrow you. They are concerned that I won't do their bidding. They don't think that I'm going to act in the best interest of the barons. So I can try to stay on their good side by doing what they say, or I can not do that. Oh, it's 4 or under? Okay. A false pretender occupies the throne while my claim is ignored. Grandees of the South, this is a stain on our honor. We must not allow it to go unanswered. Grandee, there is of which there is one. How do you want to take over the throne? Subterfuge? By lowering stability. B, with a doppelganger, lowest defiance. C, witch hunt, highest faith. Okay. Whoever wins the throne is always immediately suspicious, yeah. There's all sorts of heresy in the capital, and the Grandees intend to expose it. First, they must ensure the South is beyond reproach. To advance their scheme, the Grandees must be the region with the highest faith in 3 seasons. And it looks like they already are. Hi, Emily! Welcome, welcome. Nerva of the Emigami family, sinister Navy admiral, scribbles with a well-used quill on a hardwood desk, muttering in frustration. Oh, looks like Emily is a patrician, so Cracky, you don't have to vote if you don't want to. But you're welcome to. Fellow patricians of the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of Queen Yvette. Something must be done. Patricians! How do you want to do it? Do you want to win over the throne with intimidation, by raising stability? Conspiracy, by lowering treasury? Or corruption, by lowering authority? A, B, or C? Conspiracy. I'm gonna take all my money. The patricians plan to sink the queen under an ocean of debt. To advance their scheme, the patricians must lower the treasury to 1,500 or less in 3 seasons. So currently it is at 1,500. Every season has 3 events. Once they play out, that's the end of the season. So these stats have to be where they are, or in the Baron's case, worse, after 2 more rounds of events. See, this shows your progress. And now I can pick a new law of the land, which is basically I can have some sway on the voting. I'm glad green is like a beach country. Yeah, it is perfect for you. Like the patricians are of the coast, the Grandees are of the south, which is like the desert. The barons are of the march. There's the chiefs of the north, which they're like a pagan chieftain region. The counts of the east are kind of like gothic, and they're purple. And that's it, I think. Yeah, there are 5 regions. So I'm going to take Monarch's Golden Choice. If the nobles vote for the Monarch's Choice, which means I get a vote also, or I pick one that I would like very much. If you pick the same thing I do, you get 500 money. You're the nobles. That's right. So every member of chat that has joined the game is on my personal council. You guys are quote-unquote acting in my best interest to help me come to my royal decisions. And, you can do that badly. Yeah, I don't mind. Don't worry about it. I'm here to answer your questions. But yeah, I'm the queen. You guys are my royal council of nobles from different regions that I preside over. And you guys are going to be acting in the interest of your region, but you're also going to advise me, so you're going to try to influence my decisions for your best interest. Okay, so this season, here are 3 events. You have one here in the south, one here on the coast, and one here in the middle, at the capital. As is tradition, each region offers a selection of elite guards. The patricians with champion gladiators from the arena, the Grandees with fierce battle nuns from the Sisterhood of Steel, and the barons offer a squad of battle-hardened veteran soldiers. Think carefully, Your Majesty. These guards' loyalties will be divided between you and their region. Of course, you could just hire foreign mercenaries. They'd be loyal to coin above all. No need to even ask, Marshal. The Queen knows our veterans are the only ones with with experience of real warfare. I mean, I'm trying to play as like a loyalist here, so I am going to pick the Veterans of the March. So what I just did made a raised defiance in both the Grandees and the Patricians. So you two are feeling a little heated at my decision. Once your defiance gets to a certain level, you can vote to rebel, which starts, like, a fight against me. The veterans arrive a few days later. They march into the throne room in perfect formation before lining up behind your throne, hands on their sword hilts. Each soldier sports a bigger scar than the last. She just doesn't want me to rebel again. It's true! But you need your defiance to be at a certain level before you rebel. You can't just say, I want to rebel. Hold on to your masks, hats, and other accessories, everyone. Grandee Esperata Cat is about to lose a huge amount of money. We've bet our life savings on a boat race around the coast, and I am sure to win the day. So sure, in fact, that I petitioned the council to officially sponsor my voyage. What kind of boat will you have? My best trireme. It's tiny, but that's the point. It'll nip all around those deadly reefs. They're talking rubbish, your holiness. My caravel will beat Emigami's old boat. The ninth will bless my path. If you sponsor anyone, sponsor me. Now we all get to vote. Which competitor should the crown officially sponsor in the boat race? A. Sponsor noble patrician Emigami. B. Sponsor Grandee Esperata Cat. B. Sponsor both nobles. D. Decline to support anyone. I'm gonna veto decline to support anyone. Actually... Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Alright, so go ahead and vote. Do the icons mean anything? Yes. Each of these choices have effects on... Yeah, I know, it's hard to read. That's why I've been reading out the choices. So, and the timer doesn't matter, don't worry about it. Voting to sponsor Emigami will take 700 of my money. There will be a trade-off of defiance, so I would assume the Patrician's defiance will go down, and the Grandee's defiance will go up. And, Emigami's wealth will increase. If you sponsor Esperata Cat, pretty much the opposite thing will happen. And see, if you sponsor both, I lose 1,400 money. The money is split between the two competitors, and my authority goes up. So, it looks like... Has everyone voted? I don't think Jem has voted. It wouldn't bankrupt me. I have 1,500 money. I'd have 100 money. I lose if my treasury is 0, yes. Okay, we are supporting Emigami. My humblest thanks, one and all. I'm honored to sail with the crown behind me. If I'm poor, I die, yeah? And I'm covering up one of the stats here. Hang on, I'll disappear for a second. Where am I? Here I am. Okay. So, the Royal Treasury has gone from 1,500 to 800. The Patrician's Defiance has gone down by 1, so now it's at a 2. The Defiance in the South has gone up by 1, so now it's at a 4. And Emigami's personal pocket change, their money, has gone from 1,150 to 1,900. So, Emily has more money now to vote on whatever they want to vote on. Or, there is a portion of the game where you spend money, so that will come in handy later. Where'd I go? Here I am. Okay. Sure enough, a new figurehead is added to Emigami's little boat's prow that looks something like you. It has a crown anyway. Excitement builds as merchants and tourists flock to the starting town. Soon both boats embark on their journey. They look very small and flimsy against the vast ocean backdrop. Your esteemed highness, I understand you elected to sponsor my fellow patrician for the race. Would you fancy a small wager? Since everyone says you're sure they'll win. What sort of wager are we talking about? A mere trifle for you, I'm sure, your serene highness. Your wisdom is known by all, so naturally you'd have great fortune. No. Very well, your serene highness. But you're no fun. You return to the capital to await news of the race. Yeah, I don't know who's gonna win. I'm not gonna bet more of my fucking money. Okay, and one last event for the season. An infestation of crawlers. Your Majesty, our mutual friend Grandy Esperatacat has discovered a nest of crawlers on a new sect of southern farmland. Naturally, we barons recommend she fill the tunnels immediately, lest they spread to our other regions and endanger our crops, but Esperatacat refuses to do so. Peasants have gone missing, your highness. These crawlers are much more dangerous than they appear. How'd I do that from a boat? You got back early. Legends speak of crawlers living in giant cities beneath the soil, taking the weak to be consumed. We should leave the land to them. They're not to be trifled with. Marshal, tell me about these crawlers. Horrible cow-sized worms that live under the earth with tiny clacking legs like centipedes. Yuck! They're rare but formidable foes. They turn up unpredictably and attack whatever they find before retreating back into the earth. Nothing that well-organized troops can't handle, I'm sure. Worm-san! Thank you, my liege. Okay, time to vote. A. Abandon the fields to the crawlers. This will raise defiance, I'm sure, with the barons. No, it'll raise it with somebody. It will lower farming, and it will lower trade. B. Fill in the holes and continue farming. Or C. Send someone into the tunnels to investigate. Well, I'll vote, because this gives me a vote. And I'm excited about it. I say we send someone in. Alright. Go ahead and vote. A, B, or C. We either fill in the holes, send someone in, or do nothing. I want to see a worm guy. Me too. Send in the worm man. Onward. Very well. Who will we send on this most unfortunate mission? Oh, fuck. Well, I can't afford the second option. The South has the best military. So, we have a 70% chance of this working if I send the soldiers from the South. So, I'm going to send them. By the 9th, your highness, we'll sort this out. Just you watch. Oh, fuck. Unfortunately, your ex-investigators drop off the face of Celestath as soon as they leave on their journey to the tunnels. Grandy Esperatacat bides her time, but many peasants move away. By the 9, he hit the dab! Farming is now fruitful. Trade is now modest.
Barfhead.
No! Hi, Fern. Happy birthday, Fern! It's your birthday! Everyone say happy birthday to Fern. And I'm Barfhead. I'm Queen Barfhead, actually. Flubber! Flubber. Wait. He needs his hat. Yay. I'm Queen Barfhead. Also, Fern, if you want to join the game, feel free. You can join the game at any time by typing !join and your preferred pronoun, he, she, or they. And it'll randomly sort you into one of these 3 regions. There you go, you're in. I think they put you in, yeah, they put you in the Grandies. Okay! Nobles. It is now your time to spend your money. I can actually, like, hover over people now and see, like, this is your avatar for so when I start the auction, wait, I look hot. Yeah. Yeah, they're really good at making, like, really attractive randomly generated characters. When I hit go, or when I say go, you guys are gonna vote on, or you're going to bid on new buildings to be built in the kingdom. These buildings have effect on the kingdom stats, which can further your scheme along if you're taking that into account. So, how you're going to vote is by doing !fund, X, where X is the character code, so A, B, C, D, E, or F, and Y is the amount you're pledging. And, here, I will disappear so that you can see how much money you... Actually, I'll just read it. How about that? Espera has the least amount of money at 780. Fern has 1,000. Cracky, you have 1,000. Gem, you have 1,150. Maidens, you have 1,165. And Emily, you have 1,900. Yes, Grandies, you want the most faith. You want more faith than either other region to win your scheme. You're good for your goal right now. Barons want the kingdom stability to be 4 or lower. Right now it's 6, so they're going to try to lower stability however they can. And the patricians want the treasury to be under 1,500, which it currently is. So, for the auction, we have A, the library, which will raise stability. B, the prison, which will lower stability. C, the cathedral, which will raise faith in the Grandies, because it's a yellow cathedral. D, a stadium, which will lower the military in the Grandies. E, a monument, which will raise authority for the kingdom, for me. B, a theater, which will lower my authority because we're gonna make fun of me. So, I'm gonna start the auction now. And go. !fund, the letter of your choosing, and then how much you want to donate to the building of your choice. Interesting play, Emily. Oh, right, you're not in the Barrens. I was like, what are you doing? I just see it's a red building, and I'm like, what? Yeah, she got sick on her boat. Flubber has a jester hat on. He needs a theater. To flub or not to flub? That is the question. Alright, it looks like we're seeing a net change of 0 stability. Because both the prison and the library were bought. I need a guide on how to sail. Okay, finding a spouse. This is always the best part of the game. Your Majesty, it's important you find a spouse sooner rather than later. I'll take the liberty of finding eligible candidates. What is your preference? Men? Women? Or do you not mind? What do you think Yvette's into? I think she's a bisexual queen. Thank you, Your Majesty. I'll send out messengers to the most influential. Wonder if you'll ever find someone who actually likes you. Let's see what they have to offer. It's an easy enough decision. You'll marry into the Barrens as we agreed before you took the throne, right? Right? Yeah. The treasury is almost empty, Your Highness. Where the hell did it all go? I couldn't possibly say, Your Majesty. Perhaps you've been spending a little too freely. Apart from raising taxes, we have a few precious few options. You could get a bank loan, or sell off the crown jewels, or perhaps crack open some of your predecessors' tombs. Most were buried with piles of gold, or so I've heard. I know which one I'm not doing! You don't touch this one, this first one, because it sucks! You can add 10,000 G to the Royal Mint, but, that has consequences. Yeah, inflation. I think I will... My authority's already tanking. Did it kill you last time? It did. It essentially killed me because it reduced stability in the kingdom to 0, and that is a kill. Anyway, let's crack open some tombs. That buried gold isn't doing anyone any good, is it? Time to desecrate some graves. It wasn't actually, it wasn't instant. It was like 3 seasons away, and then it just like instantaneously killed me. Order the royal mausoleums dug into and looted. This result is quite a bounty. Gold masks, heaps of coins, precious jewels. Not everyone is as practical as your treasurer, however. The church denounce you as a grave robber. Nobles and peasants alike are disgusted by your greed. Whatever! Oh shit. Stability is at 4. Oops. I didn't think it'd go down by 2. Oh hey, we've heard from the boating competition around the coast. Your Serene Highness, I have a letter from Grandee Esperatacat. Wonderful. Though we weathered a storm. Yellow, we're gonna kill you! We found a tiny deserted island that wasn't on our maps where we could rest and shelter. Emigami made it through, but only just. We're neck and neck. That was a lot of cash. Did I sell bones or something? Gold? Gold masks and stuff? I have called it Esperatacat's land and officially claim it for the Grandees. Depths below! Surely this new island belongs to the coast. It's in the sea. That's what we do. It's a legitimate claim. Jealous that the Grandees are better at marine discovery than you patricians, eh? Your August Majesty, surely you cannot entertain this nonsense. This could be of great strategic importance to the coast. What do we do? A. Give the island to the patricians. B. Give the island to the Grandees. This will raise trade. I'm not sure for who. I'm probably the Grandees. Giving the island to the patricians, I think, raises their military and lowers their defiance. C. Take it for the crown lands. It's Yvette's land now. This will raise defiance, authority, and treasury. Esperatacat should concentrate on winning the race. If you vote for this one, you'll get money. Teehee. How about you give it to the barons? I can't. Give it to me, though. You don't want the extra money for voting the way I did? Oh. Look at this even split! Alright, Jem, how do you want to vote? We need you. Okay. Well, now I get to pick. Ha ha ha. Depths below. This is a disgrace. I'm making you guys pissed, though. I'm sorry. Still, an outpost in the sea brings respect from neighboring nations, and transport ships can rest and repair on the island, bringing more money to the capital through the new trade route. Meanwhile, tension rises in the capital as the nobles wait to hear what discoveries the race has in store next. End season. Oh, geez. Okay, so this is the new tax screen. This is new, as opposed, like, from the update. The patricians make 500 wealth selling snake oil that they claim cures scrofula. The other nobles gain 200 wealth. So, every noble has gained at least 200 gold. But the patricians have gotten 500 because they found where they're selling snake oil. Now, I can tax you guys however I want. I can bribe you. Or I can tax you really hard. Why are they milking the snakes? Oh, I wish that was how they got snake oil. I don't want to turn down the gas on the Grandies a little bit. But everyone else gets normal tax. So, the Grandies are getting a bribe. They get lower defiance, and I lose a little money. But I'm trying to lower your defiance stat, because I don't like how it is right now. What do you mean they're on the verge of a rebellion? How high does it have to be? Oh, thank God, I saved it. So, I'm blocking this, I'm sorry. I have to keep moving myself. So, your defiance needs to be higher. I fixed it because I bribed you. But if your defiance were at 6 like it was, the Grandies would be able to vote to rebel by typing !rebel. Now, depending on your stats, this may or may not be a wise option. There are lots of factors that go into rebelling, and also you have to have a majority to rebel. So, granted, there are only 2 of you, but if there were more, you would need a majority to decide to rebel. Okay, come back now. Okay. So, let's pick a spouse. Chancellor leads you to the Great Hall where they've arranged 3 portraits on easels. For now, each is covered by a cloth. Wait, I don't even get to meet them? There's no time for sentiment. You just need a match that befits your station and suits your political needs. They whisk away the cloth from the first portrait. From the coast we have Irena. Irena? A wealthy heiress to noble patrician Krakito's estate. I mean, just look at her. She's gorgeous. And apparently she's got a silver tongue, too. She recently gave away half her fortune to the church, much to everyone's surprise. She's an absolute fountain of energy. No one can keep up with her. Yeah, that's your kid. Or at least she's the heir to your estate. I don't know if she's your actual, like, child. What that tongue do, though. Stop! So, we're gonna go through our 3 options. From the south, Andona, the eldest heir of the Fern design lineage. They've reputed to have an ego the size of a sun. But there's nothing wrong with confidence, right? They've got in trouble with the Inquisition for their interest in potion brewing and the occult, but show no signs of quitting. Oh, and they've been involved in several high-profile affairs over the years. Major scandals. Don't like the look of them. And, finally, we have the Marches offering Samuel, scion of the prestigious Sleepy Sprout ZZZ bloodline. A typical baron, really. Loud and brash and self-absorbed, but mostly well-meaning. Like most of the barons, his great passion is hunting. No beast is safe from his crossbow. Oh, and he's not popular with the peasantry. Something about him sets their teeth on edge. Sorry that this queendom has cryptids. Okay, who do I want to pick? Whoever I don't pick, do you want to pet him? Oh my god, that's such a story. Jem has, my spouse, my wonderful spouse Jem, has a tendency to act out their dreams in real life while they're having them. And, one night, like, grabbed me while they were sleeping, like, pulled himself up real close to me, and whispered in my ear, "Do you want to pet and then clack their teeth together a bunch of times, like. And it was really scary. Actually, just last night they were doggy paddling in bed. That was cool. They said that they were doing like a motion activated sort of thing in their dream, and that was the motion you had to do, like with your hands. Okay, who do I want to marry? I'd like to lower the Grandy's Bass just punches me. Gem has punched me in their sleep as well. I really wish I could go inside someone's brain and walk around. Me too. Gem has punched me before. And, like, anytime anything like this happens and I go, what the fuck? Why do you do that? They try to explain themselves, but they're still half asleep, so it'll just be like, and I'm like, huh? I was punching a mouse. That's normal. That's normal behavior. One time he sat up, turned to me, and said, I love my wife, and kissed me, and then immediately laid down. That's sweet, though. You were punching Michael Mouse? I think it was a normal mouse. Who am I marrying, though? I don't want to get the Grandies are gonna fucking revolt. So, I think I have to marry Andona. But Andona, like, cheats. This is a trap. I refuse to marry any of them. Holy shit. Without a marriage, you are alone. No alliance and no support, not to mention insult to the most powerful families in the kingdom. What possible reason could you have for choosing not to marry? Marriage would weigh me down. I want a party. No. Oh. This is gonna suck no matter what I do. Actually, maybe I should get married. I'll marry Arena. Hi, Russian Spy. Russian Spies 3. Welcome. And welcome to the game. Without a marriage, to fail with no GF. Uh-oh. Noble overboard. Your August Majesty, we've had a message from Noble Patrician Emigami. I was indulging in some grog with the crew one evening and inadvertently fell into the water. Obviously, I survived, thanks to a group of passing finfolk who dragged me from danger. But they won't return me to my boat without payment. Of course, you'll pay the ransom, your esteemed highness. Won't you? Will the queen pay the finfolk and rescue Emma? A. No interference with the race. The crown will not pay. B. Send coastal troops to rescue Emigami. Now, there's a 45% chance of this succeeding. If you send the troops. So I don't suggest it. However, with C, I pay for it. Yeah, after I sunk all that money in it already. Damn. This sucks. I don't want to lower my money. I can't even think of like a good option. Okay. Vote. A, B, or C? I don't even know what to say, what to do. You're gonna leave her to die? Leave our friend Emily to die? Our trusted mod? Can you really put a price on friendship? I can put a price of 600 gold on friendship. And then more than that is too much. I think we got one vote in the wings. Maidens! Maidens vote! Oh, you're thinking about it, huh? Shouldn't have made the library. Oh, Jesus. Punk. The Rejoice. The Rejoice, though, doesn't gain enough ground to get ahead of Emigami's boat. What? Uh-oh. I think the game crashed. What? Hang on. Something has happened. You'll have to rejoin. I'm sorry. It broke the game. Jem, you voted instead of joining. Okay, well, God's given you another chance. You can still vote for A if you want. Now vote differently. You can still vote for A if you want. But I can't guarantee that we'll survive. Okay, this path is fucked. We can't make this we can't vote for this option. It got stuck. Would you believe it if it said I tried to join a second time with the vote command? Well, maybe do a different event first. That's an option. I regret to ask you to vote again or join again. File in, everybody. Okay, we're back. We're back in a big way. It's been many moons since we last heard from the soldiers we sent into the tunnels on Grandi Esperatacat's land. We must act before this crawler menace spreads to the other kingdoms. Peasants disappear and sinkholes swallow villages whole while Esperatacat hides in her mansion and does nothing. Belligerent fool. Imagine the retaliation if we anger them directly. I would rather abandon my estate. Okay, different votes. A. Pay Grandi Fern Design to host Grandi Esperatacat as she abandons the area. B. Gather the barons to fight this menace on the open fields. There's a 40% chance of that working. C. Evacuate everyone from the area, including the peasants. D. Do nothing and see if the crawlers retreat on their own. Vote. Doing nothing raises defiance and lowers farming and trade. Evacuating lowers farming and trade and defiance. Paying Grandi Fern Design will cost me money. I'm not some kind of charity. Oh, but that is quite a lot of gold. And Esperonicat always did invite me to her weird birthday parties. Fine. Fern now has 2,200 gold. Eventually, the creatures withdraw of their own accord, leaving behind swathes of terrified peasants with missing family members and horrific stories. Okay. Now. Oh my god, they changed the noble! It's Esperonicat now! Was this your gambit the whole time? Of course you'll pay the ransom, your holiness. Won't you? Emily, you're cheating. This changes everything, though. Well, someone has to die. What the fuck? We're gonna save Aspera, but we want Emily to die. It's called equality. Alright, less money for me. Goddamn. The Finfolk gratefully received the payment from the treasury and released Grandy Esperonicat, as well as giving her some advice about the upcoming route. The patricians splutter in outrage about favoritism towards Grandy Esperonicat. But the Grandies praised the council's decision far and wide. Even so, Grandy Esperonicat is still behind, though there's still hope as the race nears its end. I have the hiccups now. Hooray, we can end the season! Hooray! Hooray! While the queen settles into her young reign, a general has risen in the march, the indomitable Baroness Sabine. General, fantastic news. We're ready to move forwards with the plan. The kingdom is in such a state that commoners are begging for someone to save them. All we need is a suitable boogeyman to get them really riled up. The Ashmedan Empire will do, I should think. After all, they've always coveted our lands, especially in the March. And how would our dear queen stop them with the kingdom in such a state? Good thinking, General. While your campaign warns of the Ashmedian threat and proposes a march of defense, we will build an army to back your words. For the next stage of the Baron's scheme, their stat goal is to have the highest military in 3 seasons. Spread a little racism as a treat. In a picturesque castle overlooking the southern city of Serena, 2 grandees lie back to enjoy the sun. Praise be! Whispers of our plan have reached the peasants, and they are in an uproar. They call for the sins of the queen to be laid bare. Faith is now zealous. Stop it, you zealots! I already have leads on information from inside the palace that we can use against the queen. It's only a matter of time. We have the High Inquisitor on our side, but we must also sow dissent among the other regions. We won't succeed alone. For the next stage of their scheme, the Grandees must raise other regions' defiance to a combined total of at least 8, or ensure another region begins a rebellion in 3 seasons. Just got 6. Oh shit! I'm sorry. I missed my snooze cutoff. I was gonna like do a scheduled break. Okay. I'll just wait for like 2 minutes. I'll be back. That is a lot of cars. 3 car ads? Damn. They must really want you a car. Okay. So, grandees, if you didn't hear it because of ads, you gotta raise the other region's defiance to a combined total of at least 8, or ensure that another region begins a rebellion in 3 seasons. So right now, the combined total of the barons and the patricians is 5. So you're gonna want to make decisions that make them angry. Smile. In a dingy seaside tavern, 2 patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. The treasury is practically empty, and the queen is struggling to fund her ambitions. We're perfectly placed to offer her a loan. So helpful of us. Indeed, these loan agreements will be as friendly as a bear trap. Now, absolutely loaded with hidden catches in the small print. Now watch me work my magic. Good evening, noble patrician. What exactly is the purpose of this meeting? I heard about the Queen's recent money troubles, and I thought we could both benefit. Just sign here and here. I've printed money before. It's bad. Bad things happen. Hang on. What's this provision about giving patricians exclusive mineral rights along their borders? With respect, Madam Treasurer, you're broke. Given the desperate plight of the Queen, are you really in a position to question this? Make a very good point. Very well, I'll sign. The Queen will be pleased. Good luck, noble patrician, and may the 9th bless you. Treasury is now 2450. The noble patrician Emigami's wealth has decreased by 300. And Cracky's also went down by 300 because you gave me a loan. Thanks! See? Easy as pie. But it's not enough to bankroll the Queen. The rest of the kingdom needs to be in debt to us as well. To advance their scheme, the patricians must have the highest trade of all regions in 3 seasons. Well, they're already doing that. They have an 8, and the barons have a 4, and the grandees have a 3. You're on a boat. Are you, though? I guess you are. Okay. Ooh. Monarch's iron choice. Monarch can mark their preferred voting option. If chosen, they gain +1 authority. +1 stability if more than 50% of nobles vote for any one option. Well, I want authority, but I also want stability. I'll take this one, and I'll get rid of this one, because nobody is voting the way I want to. Yeah, you just have a really, really loud megaphone. Anyway, the royal wedding. Your wedding to Irina is naturally the talk of the kingdom. Nobles and peasants alike travel from across the realm to attend. For a week and a day, the capital is all one giant party. It feels like you're the only one not taking part. Instead, you're getting ready for the ceremony. Soon enough, you're standing in St. Bertrand's Cathedral with Irina at your side. Do you take this woman as your lawfully wedded wife? Yeah. Then I pronounce you queen and wife. After the wedding, of course, is a feast, and after the feast, a dance. Your new wife, Irina, laps up the attention, delivering a witty speech in which she flatters you outrageously. Ooh. Stability is now stable. Awesome. Authority is now commanding. And everyone's defiance went down. Why is Carl Reason the Pope? She likes me. By the time you find yourself alone with Irina, it's past midnight, and you've never felt more tired. You danced so very beautifully. It was such a wonderful day, wasn't it? Agree with her. You endure a long conversation in which Irina seems determined to flatter you relentlessly and agree with everything you say. By night's end, you still don't know who Irina really is. Her real personality is concealed beneath 100 layers of etiquette. You go to your separate bedchambers, still strangers. No, I should have been emotionally vulnerable! I should have lied! I should have told the truth. Fuck, I should have... No! Oh! She's gonna fall out of love with me. Anyway, the end is near. The coastal boat race is nearly at a close. I'd hoped the coast would win the day, and it appears Grandi Esperaticat will sail to victory. How exciting! Truly, this race is of utmost importance. On a completely unrelated note, I have a shipment of copper that is due to intercept the racers any day now. If my ship got in the way, who knows what might happen? I dare say the race's outcome would be altered. Of course, I could be convinced to alter the shipment's route instead. Your Holiness, we must put a stop to this shameless attempt to sabotage the race. A. Have the Grandees pay for the ship to obstruct noble patrician Emigami's path. B. Have the patricians pay for the ship to obstruct Grandee Esperatacat's path. Refuse the bribe. Both of the top two choices would increase trade for either the patricians or the Grandees. Wealth would be exchanged, and there would be a trade-off of defiance. C. There would be a trade-off of defiance. Trade would decrease by a lot, and personal wealth would also decrease. Vote! We should really stop saying our schemes within earshot. Looks like a clear shot for C. Let's see how this plays out. But my copper shipment will have to be diverted. It'll be late. Okay, so this made the barons mad. That's what you get for trying to interfere. But the coast and the south are now a little happier because we didn't interfere with the race. Soon, nobles and peasants alike gather at the finish line, watching breathlessly as the winner arrives. And it's Grandee Esperatacat! Fuck. Victory! Victory for the honor of the Grandees! Now pay up, Emigami! A patrician losing a sea race. It's a scandal. I don't know how it happened. Emily just lost all their money. Like, they went from 1100 to 0. Teehee! Thank you. Thank you very much. Perhaps you'd like a rematch in a year's time? And, Esperata got all of that money. Absolutely not. It's time for a nice holiday in my villa to relax. And a lot of wine. Back in the south, merchants flock to investigate Esperatacat's boat and use her sailing techniques to improve their own crafts. Trade is now dynamic. Though the race is over, it gripped the kingdom. Similar bets take place as far afield as Sal and Kurth. Some successful, and others ending in watery deaths. Hooray! Damp in the walls. Your Highness, there's a problem with the library we built in the march. Moisture is seeping into the walls, and the books are damp and moldering. Ew. And you're telling me that damp is bad for books, is it? Great God, of course! And if we don't do something, we'll lose all that knowledge to the ages. We can repair some of the library, maybe even save one of the sections if we have help. We don't have enough resources to rescue the whole thing. What should we do? A. Pay to repair the entire building. B. Save the books on military strategy. Oh my god. C. Focus on protecting the economics section. D. Let the barons deal with it alone. Well, I don't like that option, so I'm vetoing it. That's not nice. Anyway, vote. I'll never learn how to sail now. Wow, you're gonna make me broke! like knowledge. That's like my whole loan. It's gone. The treasurer's eyes widen when you send her the plans and the cost, but she makes the necessary arrangements and repairs get underway. Not our problem. Fair! During the renovations, previously obscure economic and military scrolls are unearthed and catch the attention of Marcher scholars. A minor renaissance occurs in the March as a result. Their military is now powerful. Their trade is now Fuck! We didn't want their military to get better. Oh god. Once it's finished, the Barons name a whole wing of the rebuilt library in your honor. Yay. End season. I'm so dummy. I just let that happen. Bankruptcy loans. The treasury is almost empty, Your Highness. I'm not doing this! This is a trick! Sell off some of the royal jewelry to wealthier nobles. Auction off dozens of necklaces, 5 gold rings, and a jeweled scepter to the nobles. I'm not printing money! Ooh, look at this tiara. Fetching, isn't it? Don't mind if I do. Hey, check out this scepter. It's like I'm the queen. Fern looks completely different. I forgot it would re-scramble your bodies. A good word. Greetings, Yvette. I've had an idea. As you know, the people of the coast are quite pious. As a member of the royal household and an avid adherent of the church myself, I thought I might go back to my homeland for a time and take the opportunity to preach in your favor. You mean, make me some kind of saint? Not exactly. I mean, unless they really start to like you. But support from the church can't be a bad thing, can it? You shouldn't rock the boat. If you wish, my love. Irina utters a sigh of frustration before stalking off. There was only a 40% chance it would work. I wasn't gonna let her do that. My liege, a shipwreck has appeared on the edge of my estate. And it's not even from the March. Its name is the Seraphina, and it bears a southern flag. I'll never have a happy marriage now. I forgot that Jem died twice. Yeah, Jem died, and then their successor invented the guillotine, and we all decided to test it out on them. So now we have Gem 3. That vessel went missing a few months back. We feared she was lost at sea. Well, she's been found on land, right on top of my favorite picnic spot. My commoners discovered only one survivor on board, a southern sailor. He claims to remember nothing of what happened. Ugh, my head's killing me. It has been ever since I woke up. I'll be honest, you look awful. I feel awful, Your Highness. I swear I didn't do anything. Last I remember, we were sailing along southern waters, then nothing. This poor soul needs looking after. We must care for him in one of our monasteries. Nay, we must interrogate him further. I must know why this ship is on my land. Okay. A. Send the sailor to a monastery to convalesce in peace. This would reduce defiance. B. Pay a scholar to help him recover his memory. B. The Baron should hire adventurers to investigate the wreck. This would cost money for the Barons and raise defiance for them. D. Leave the sailor to recover alone and to wreck the wreck to molder away. Well, that's not very nice. I'm gonna say I don't want to pay a scholar because I'm kind of sick of you guys just spending my money. Boo, she'll have to mint more coins eventually if we keep spending treasury money. Stop! Alright, looks like you're paying for it. I like how all the barons decided to pay for it. Which is gonna make them mad. And cost you money. Why must we foot the bill? The Adventurers Guild is always hungry for cash. They put together a ragtag band of their best explorers, led by a woman named Chania. We'll be back soon with news. Don't worry. We never fail. Hooray! End season. God. Okay, we got another auction. Emily, you have no money. I'm covering the fact that you have no money, but you have 0 money. Russian Spies 3 has the second least amount of money with 700. And then I think, Cracky has 800. Gem has 850. Maidens has 965. Fern has 1900. Aspera has 2030. So, well, wait until I say go. We got a fortress that boosts the Baron's military. We got a monument that boosts my authority. Smile. We got a cathedral that will boost faith for the grandees. An observatory which will lower faith for the grandees. A bazaar which will raise trade for the patricians. And a theater which will lower authority for the patrician, or for me. Okay, we're starting now. All of these are kind of poopy garbage, I'm saying. We got some bad stuff in here. Most of these are just gonna further the schemes, like tenfold. Not the grandee scheme. Oh, you're right. Yeah, none of these are gonna raise defiance. Oh god. Okay. Trade has gone up for the patricians. Wait, has it? Or does it top out at 9? The military's gone up for the barons. Was trade at 8 or was it at 9? Oh, it did go up? Okay. About your heir. Oh, Jesus. Your marriage to Irina is already a disaster. She can't stand the sight of you, and when you are in the same room, it somehow always ends in an argument and a slammed door. The last thing on your mind is procuring an heir, but the needs of the kingdom must prevail. Congratulations are in order. The royal wedding was a magnificent affair. Something's still missing. Need an heir. Get king. Come on. You need someone young whose loyalty is assured. A child of your own would do the trick, even if they're a bastard. Or the youngest of your many cousins. Maybe you should have married the commoner you loved. I didn't want to make people mad at me. I plan to adopt a low-born child from the orphanage. The nobles won't be too happy about a low-born child being elevated to the status of a royal. I urge you to reconsider. No. I'll make the necessary arrangements. Your Majesty, do you recall the loan agreement I signed with the patricians? No? Did you even tell me about this? Your Majesty, I sent you the contract. You stamped it with a royal seal. I stamp 50 things a day. I can't read them as well. I see. Next time I'll run it past you in person. It turns out there were some hidden catches. You see, the interest they're charging looked very reasonable at first, but it's doubling every 2 weeks. Before long, things will get exponential. How didn't you spot that? It was written in obnoxiously small print. Each letter was the size of an ant's breakfast. Luckily, the patricians aren't pressing us for repayment. Yet. But there are signs they're tricking the other regions into similar agreements. They're a trade powerhouse, the main economic engine of the kingdom. We need to call a council vote and stop the patricians before it's too late. How will the council stop the patricians from buying up everyone's debts? A. Hit the coast with a punishing trade embargo. B. Pay off the other region's debts from the treasury. Delay scheme for 1 season. C. We can't do anything about debt. What are we, economists? Well, I say we can't do C. Vote. I think we should hit him where it hurts. In the old wallet. No, don't make me poor. What the hell is wrong with you? Stop! No. Whatever. It's fun. The other regions are grateful for your gold. The patricians are upset, but there's nothing much they can do except grumble. Some barons' wealth has increased, some grandees' wealth has increased. You've hampered the patricians' efforts, but not permanently. Their stat goal will not be evaluated until the end of next season. I don't know how I'm gonna bring down a 9. Like, I don't know what I'd do. I'd have to, like, blow them up or something. And I'm pretty sure I'm not capable of that. Chania and her band of adventurers have returned from the wreck of the Seraphina, Your Majesty. They bring bad news. What's happened? Where'd the money go? I paid for... Maybe pay for the things. For the investigation. We can only remember fragments, Your Majesty. Like a half-forgotten nightmare. But I remember running down an endless labyrinth that twisted around me, coiling like a serpent. They couldn't reach the captain's cabin at the center, but Chani is willing to return if we give her better equipment. Should the adventurers be allowed to return to the wreck? A. They may return, but they need better equipment. B. Don't let them go back. No one should explore this area. C. It's their choice. Let them do what they want. Now, I will tell you that most of these choices have a 50% chance of working. A has a 60% chance, but the other two have a 50. Like, I know I can vote, but, like, what's the point? Right? Yeah, you outnumber me. What's the... Like, I know no one likes a defeatist, but I... We love you. Oh, thanks. Okay, let's see. Well, that failed. The barons call for local merchants to donate their best quality compasses and map-making materials. But there's little to be had. In the end, Chania and her adventurers press marcher soldiers to join them on their quest. But Chania and her zealous adventurers leave. The servants on Vulcanchick 3's estate mutter that she won't be seen again. End season. Across the kingdom, commoners and nobles alike are now turning to General Sabine, who promises to rescue them from the Queen's weak rule. There are daily parades in the General's honor. A cult of personality begins to form. Commoners are signing up in droves to fight for Sabine. Her popularity far eclipses the Queen's. The Grand Hall of Baron Sleepy Sprout ZZZ's castle. A number of figures are hunched around the earth, plodding away. Soon, the people will beg us to depose our pathetic queen. The general is in place. It's time for the final blow. What's next? Open to barons on the march only. How should the barons take over the kingdom and install General Sabina's new queen? A. Provoke a civil war and take over the palace for the queen's safety. Goal, raise others' defiance. B. Enact a swift and brutal palace coup. Goal, lower authority. And I think only Russian spies, maidens, and Gem can vote. Well, that's that. Lower authority. Brutal and efficient. I believe the general will be happy with that. And what are we waiting for? Let's go! Not just yet. The queen's grip on the kingdom is loosening, but it must be weak enough to allow the general inside the palace. For the final stage of their scheme, the barons must lower authority to 3 or less. Deep in the south, a grandee paces back and forth along the balcony of her hillside villa. I'm told that progress is slow. How could they be so blind, trusting in that fool of a queen after everything she's done? The grandee's aim is to raise other regions' combined defiance to 8 or more, or ensure another region starts a rebellion. Okay. The grandees have too much money. And the barons have a decent amount of money too. Hi, Juniper Rob Bob. Welcome. Patrician's plan got delayed a season. So because of how you guys voted, you have to wait another season for your stuff to get calculated. So if we can somehow get that trade stat lower, that'd be pretty cool. Oh, Juniper Robob, if you type your preferred pronoun after !join, it'll join the game for you. So, he, she, or they. A delicate matter. As usual, Irina has spent the day praying and listening to sermons in St. Bertrand's Cathedral as far from you as possible. But after you've eaten your separate dinners, she strolls in wearing an obviously fake smile. I've endured this so-called marriage as long as I could bear, but I simply can't do it anymore. Your Serene Highness, it's time we part ways. I want a divorce. Jesus. Thank the ninth, now we can stop pretending. Pretending? Death's below. If you've been pretending, you haven't been doing it very well. Every time we talk, it ends the same way, with you stamping down everything I wish for. You didn't even trust me to help your own reputation through preaching, when you knew it was important to me. This was never going to work. It's over now, for good or ill. I called for the Archbishop to witness the divorce ceremony. What's the ceremony? Yes, well, good evening, Your Majesty. I know this is awkward, but I'll ensure it all goes as smoothly as possible. Archbishop! Surely you can't support this. Your Majesty, I care about the kingdom. Queen Consort Irina was very convincing that the kingdom is better without her being married to you. Alright, let's get this done. Your esteemed highness? We can't divorce, I love you! You had your chance, Yvette. What more is there to say? Is there anything that would make you change your mind? For a second, Irina looks thoughtful. I want help for the coast. My home's important to me. Okay! Wait, shit! I'm an idiot. Listen. thought it was just for farming. I thought it was just for farming! The rest of the nobles aren't so pleased. Grumbling about favoritism grows louder and louder. Losing because you're horny. Was Irina worth it, cat? I bet she fucking leaves anyway. You and Irina have dinner together a few times a week, and she even gives you the occasional smile. The situation has helped you bond for now. Hey, I'm not wife-pilled. Yvette is wife-pilled, okay? Not me. I'm dead. You killed me. I ain't here anymore. I'm role-playing. Baron Vulcan Chicks 3 has their servants bring in a stretcher to the council hall. Chani and her adventurers return from the wreck of Serafina, Your Highness. Is this them? They reached the hold of the shipwreck and found this. I'm not owned! I'm not owned! Shrinks and turns into a corn cob. The other nobles recoil in horror. It's a corpse that looks almost human, encrusted all over with ice crystals embedded into its flesh. Despite the heat of the lamps, the crystals remain solid and glittering. We think this was once a wizard. Maybe the source of the wreck's teleportation and associated memory problems. Must handle this carefully, Your Highness. We don't know what to do with the remains. Can a wizard's body be destroyed at all? What should be done with this wizard's body? Oh god. A. Pay Baron Vulcan Chicks 3 to return the body to the ocean. B. Build a funeral pyre and burn the body. Has a 50% chance of working. C. Stow the body back on the wreck and keep it a secret. Has a 50% chance of working. D. Put the body on display in a Marcher museum. That's got my vote. That's sick as fuck. Just put the guy in a museum. Yay! Atrocities! You have the body placed in a museum in the largest city of the March. Visitors flock to pore over the preserved corpse, bringing in a great deal of money to the region. But the staff report ghostly laughter and feeling cold to their bones, even in the middle of summer. There's a steady turnover. Those who remain carry protective charms during their shifts. Whatever. Whatever, it's fine. What the hell ever. Oh my goodness. Juniper Rabob, you have a beautiful name and a beautiful person. All I'm saying is, every grandee claims to have a saint in her ancestry. Your great-great-grandfather was probably a common dullard. Shut your mouth, you hedge-born puzzlewit! His name was Saint Umber, and he defeated the werewolf of Aranhar by turning it to dust in an instant. According to my grandmother. If you're so sure, how about a little wager? A bag of gold says your ancestor was no saint. You're on! What's all this? Nova Petrosian Juniper Rabob is spreading damnable lies about my great-great-grandfather. If you really think he was a saint, then dig him up. Saints are incorruptible. Even after death, they don't decay. Very well. I request the council's permission to exhume my ancestor and prove this fool wrong. Now, if there's something I know about saints, it's that the Catholics like to keep their body parts, and they very do decay. Yeah, we can put him in the museum, too. Should Grandee Esperaticat be allowed to dig up her ancestor? This is the plot of JoJo's for your information! A. Grant permission for the body to be exhumed. This has an 80% chance of working. B. No! Dead people should stay underground. This will raise defiance, but only for the grandees. So that's not going to help them. C. Ask the Archbishop to check church records instead, which has a 50% chance of working. I'm gonna vote. Wait, that's not a vote. I'm not. Okay. Vote. Not kidding, one part is about the Holy Corpse parts. Wasn't there like some monastery that was like claiming to have like Jesus's foreskin or something? You would know, Jem. You're into you're into that. Not. We grave rob in this case. Dig that grave. We do grave rob in this kingdom. Jim, you would know where Jesus Christ's foreskin is. It's right over there. God bless you, your holiness. Now where's my shovel? There's a huge debate over the existence of the foreskin as a relic. Right? Like, I knew you knew something about it. It worked. A few days later, the corpse of Esperata Cat's great-great-grandfather is exhumed from its resting place in the southern necropolis. Praise be! I was right. Centuries in the ground, but old St. Humbert looks fresh as a daisy. This is a wild unboxing video. Wow, it really is a miracle. Fine, take your money. Word quickly spreads of the miracle of St. Umber. Peasants across the south add another name to their prayers. Wow. Alright, well, the patricians are gonna get their thingy. Wow, there is a wiki article! Sitting on a bench outside a sun-bleached villa, two patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. Unboxing my great-great-grandfather, not clickbait. Like and subscribe. Let me show you something. These documents represent the accumulated debts of all the other regions in the kingdom. How did you manage that? I thought they'd know better than to accept loans from us. Oh, but they did. Oh, they did. But there are plenty of independent moneylenders they've taken loans from over the years. Banks in Kurth, Atesh, and Tavalin. I bought up all those debts for myself. Tavalin was so pleased with the generosity of my terms they even offered us an alliance. If the patricians are ever in trouble, Tavalinese soldiers will march to our aid. Genius. So now the grandees and barons owe us half their wealth, and the queen owes us absolutely everything? Indeed. All that's left is to decide what to do when it's come to collect. Alright, patricians. Vote on what you would like to do. A. Graciously forgive all debts in exchange for the throne. Goal. Raise stability. B. Squeeze every last drop of gold from the kingdom. Goal. Raise old military. So, it looks like you would have to either, yeah, raise stability, which is 5, or raise your military, which is also 5. Read a tat about it. What the fuck? Catholics, get your man. Aren't humans so interesting? Alright, that's 2 of the 3. That's 2 of the 3, so... yeah. What do you mean I don't need money to be happy? Excellent. Let's wring all the juice we can out of this lemon. Hang on. If we try this, won't the other regions just, fight back? Like, with soldiers? That's why we can't negotiate from a position of weakness. We must ensure our military is up to snuff. Ironic amen. For the final stage of their scheme, the patricians must raise their military to at least 7. Okay, so you're at 5. That's not that hard. That's not that difficult. I mean, I like Call for Unity, but, like, that's not gonna help anybody but me. Yeah, I'll take it. But I have to get rid of one. Monarch's vote, honestly, just tells you what not to vote for, so I won't pick it. Oh my god. All of these are down here. Your Majesty, the incorruptible corpse of St. Umber has become a sensation among the faithful. Everyday pilgrims visit my manor to pray at his feet. But their muddy feet are ruining my carpets. May I take St. Umber's body on a tour of the kingdom instead? After all, the regions outside the south could do with a little reminder of the knight's power. Your Majesty, if I may make a suggestion, perhaps we should study this phenomenon instead of mindlessly worshipping it? Heresy! Everyone cover your ears before she says anything more! Okay. A. Allow the tour to go ahead. B. Have the saint examined by scholars from Quail University. C. Forbid the tour, but allow the private display of St. Umber to continue. D. Order the saint's body reburied. I'm trying to think of... If their defiance goes up, that doesn't help them at all. So I don't really care about this. I'm gonna veto A. Vote! Why? Because I want to. I don't need to lower another one of my... As you insist, Your Highness, my poor carpets. Maybe I'll come visit your little shrine one of these days. Should be good for a laugh. You're very welcome to visit. At least your shoes are clean. Who knows, maybe St. Umber will guide you back to the light of the 9th. Grandia Sparaticat continues to display the saint's body, charging a small fee to compensate for the damage to her carpets. The sacred corpse attracts crowds from across the kingdom. Some even bring coin to spend. Noble kidnapped. Your Holiness, the loyal and noble... loyal and noble Grandia Sparaticat has been taken hostage. It's because you were charging about your carpets. What would kidnappers want with her? It's some criminal organization. These horrid miscreants demand gold and safe passage to Ashmead in exchange for Esperaticat's return. Well, I can't pay the ransom. So... I think... we either send the troops after the kidnappers, 90% chance of working, or C, nothing. Consider... very good odds. And I got a authority boost. Yippee! The outlaws are no match for the South's forces, which rushed to Esperaticat's aid. During their raid, Southern fighters even recover a hoard of gold and gems, shared between the treasury and the Grandies. Oh yay, I get money! Hooray! This simply can't go on, Your Majesty. These archboffins think they know everything, but they know nothing of the Ninth God's wrath. Please, your majesty, we found a perfect site for an observatory, high in the southern hills, but it's on Grandy Esperatacat's lands and she refuses to let us build there. Gonna have someone kidnap her again. Such things are heresy. The stars are just as big and close as the ninth god intended. Who put you up to this idea, I bet it was one of those barons, like Vulcan Chicks 3. What should we do? A. Construct the observatory, which has a 90% chance of working. B. Find a different site for the observatory. C. Forbid the construction of the observatory. Or D. Forbid construction and investigate the scholars' funding. I don't think you missed it. Oh, you might have missed the one where we voted to rescue Esperatacat from kidnapping, but I don't think a vote in either direction would have helped, because it was like unanimous. Okay. Personally, I want to see what happens when you put an observatory up in there. Oh no, I get to vote. Teehee. The Grandies grumble and groan, but construction goes ahead. Over time, the observatory provides new jobs and brings many traveling scholars to the area, paying for itself many times over. Yay! Okay, it looks like everyone's schemes are, like, stuck for a little while. This is good. This is good. My heir! Your quest for an heir is finally complete. You stand before the council, holding a small child in your arms. Should I die, I ask that my crown be passed down to... Council hall is full of nervous silence. My adopted low-born child. Silence continues, accepting a few stifled coughs. After the awkward pause is stretched out to over a minute, there's finally some sporadic applause. Oh shit. Oh no! The royals don't appreciate you inducting a low-born child into the royal family, but whether they like it or not, by designating an heir, you've cemented the stability of the kingdom. Your esteemed highness, may I be the first to congratulate you on adopting an heir. What is their name? Yvette 2. Marvelous, your esteemed highness. I'm sure little Yvette 2 will grow up to be a chip off the old block. Congratulations on finding an heir. Now you'll just have to fulfill your ambition to win the game. Expect a visit from the Spy Master soon. Not even the second, just Yvette 2. Well, I guess it could be the second. I just see the number after all and after it and be like, 2. A new baby! Always a pleasure, your esteemed highness. Some fine news from the laborers in the coast. Is your defiance high enough to rebel? I don't think it is. A baby has been born on your birthday, bearing a birthmark in the shape of the number 9. A fantastic omen. Perhaps we should mark the occasion? What should be done to mark the birth of this remarkable infant? A. The queen will send her blessings. B. The queen has no time for peasant brats. B. Gift the parents a bounty of jewels and some fine wine. D. Send the Inquisition to make sure the birthmark is real? What? No, it should be nice. I don't like this one. What happened to spending my money? want to spend my money? Yeah. You fell for it. I wanted the stability, silly. Oh, excellent. My humblest thanks, Your Serene Highness. The common folk will appreciate your I know it doesn't matter, but numbers go up, make me feel happy. There is another matter. They asked permission to name the baby after you. What do you think, Your Serene Highness? As long as the baby's not ugly. Oh my goodness! Ah! Thank you so much for the raid, Geek Squeak. Thank you so much. Welcome raiders. My name is Kat. I'm a VTuber, I'm a variety streamer, I'm a little fella in your computer. You she, her, they, them pronouns, and I hope you enjoy your time here. We're playing King of the Castle. If you would like to, join the game, you can type !join and your preferred pronoun. And yeah, I'm just looking at this here baby. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for the follow, Geek Squeak. Glad to have you. There is another matter. They asked permission to name the baby after you. What do you think, Your Serene Highness? Oh, we hit the follower goal! Woo! I'll have to set a new one. The more events, the better. Marvelous. Yippee! I'll have my housekeeper give them the good news. Noble Patrician Juniper Rob Bob hurries away. A child of the coast named for you. Who knows what sort of person this baby will become? I can only hope you're around to see it. I do hope so. Alright. Your Majesty, Noble Patrician Juniper Rob Bob has disappeared without a trace. Oh, Jesus. After that thing with the baby? They were last seen on a horse headed to Grandy Esperatacat's castle. Uh-oh. It wasn't me, I swear! Noble Patrician Juniper Rob Bob came to visit St. Umber, but the saint's eyes lit up with holy fire. The next thing I knew, they were reduced to dust and bones! Noble Patrician Juniper Rob Bob has died. Juniper Rob Bob, too, has joined the council. A likely story! I demand the council arrest Grandy Esperatacat for the murder of my parent. Silence, Brand! Should Grandy Esperatacat be arrested for the murder of Noble Patrician Juniper Rob Bob, or is the saint to blame? We can imprison Esperatacat. Did you, like, panic give birth when you die? Yeah, it's like a full-grown adult. Rebury the saint and place something heavy on the grave, just to be sure. Ask Grandy Esperatacat to prove her fanciful claims, or send St. Umber to Quail University for examination. Good God. Good Lord, even. This is insane! This game is confusing playing the first time, but it really is, like, it's hard to get into. Like, you do need to read all the tutorials, and I do usually go over the information again every time I play for new folks, but it is so fun, and it's always, like, it just adds to the story every time you play. Like, it's super fun. Oh, no. Oh, we got one more vote waiting. There we go. Praise the Ninth! Thank you, Your Highness, for providing me this chance to prove my innocence. A week later, Grandy Esperatacat returns in a wretched state. My research finally paid off. Ninth, protect me. I have seen such terrible scenes. You look ghastly. I hired experts from across the land to examine St. Umber. Priests, scholars, morticians. None could account for what happened to Noble Patrician Juniper Rob Bob. In the end, I resorted to hiring a warlock from the March. But as soon as he entered the saint's presence, Saint Umber's eyes burned once again. The warlock withered and rotted and died on the spot, as though struck by 1,000 years in a single moment. All that remained was dust and bones. A horrible sight, but there you have it. Saint Umber will strike down unbelievers and the unworthy. Are you calling my parent unworthy? This tale is absurd. Arrest this fool. Yeah. No, I did nothing wrong. Palace Watch hoist up Grandy Esperaticat by her armpits and drag her away. Authorities now iron-fisted. Riots break out in the south. Grandy Esperaticat was popular amongst the common folk. Bah, let the peasants riot all they like. Thank you for ensuring justice was done. Grandy Esperaticat has been imprisoned. Esperaticat, too, has joined the council. Oh no, I have a lot of power! It would be a shame if I did anything about it, haha. But first, I have to go to an ad break, so I'll be right back. Go get a drink of ow! Go get a drink of water or some shit. Go to the bath. Do what you gotta do. I'll be back. Be nice! Or you'll get in the dungeon too. Hey, we're back. I hope you had a good break, and I hope you don't kill me, hee hee. End season. Oh, it's another auction. Oh, Jesus. Okay. So, I'm gonna read out the monies because we have everybody on the list. Emily has 400 gold. Cracky has 400 gold. Russian Spies 3 has 450 gold. Juniper Robob II has 600 gold. Gem the Third has 1100 gold. Maidens has 1215 gold. Fern has 1400, and Esperata Cat II has 2130. For your consideration today, we have the Observatory, which lowers faith in the Barons. The Theater, which lowers my authority. The Monument, which raises authority. The Thieves Guild, which lowers trade in the Grandees. The Fortress, which raises the military for the patricians. And the Prison, which lowers stability in the kingdom. So A, Observatory, B, Theater, C, Monument, D, Thieves Guild, E, Fortress, F, Prison, vote, or bid, or do whatever you would like to do. I think the patricians' military has to be 7 or higher to proceed with their scheme. I'm not really sure how the prison would advance your scheme, considering nobody's deal has to do with stability, even me. Oh, just want to be contrarian. I see. My ambition. At the start of your reign, you said you wanted to be the greatest queen who ever lived. You're well on track to achieve that aim. Well done, Your Majesty. Yay, everyone likes me! But to shut down your noble scheming for good, you need to build on that reputation. Your advisors have some ideas. We should crush those disloyal nobles, smash their armies, and force them to submit. On the other hand, Your Majesty, if you helped us spread the zeal of the Ninth God, the Church would lend our full support. With the backing of the Church, the nobles wouldn't dare move against you. This is probably the best I've ever done. Thanks, 1.1 update! Haha! I don't know, my military is doing pretty good. Pick that. A wise decision, Your Majesty. I'll begin putting together my plans. Maybe divorce suits you. No! It suits Yvette. But of course it won't be easy. Your priority is to raise your authority in the kingdom's overall military as much as you can. And of course there can't be open rebellion among the nobles. Teehee. My liege, I'm as devout as anyone. But it's beyond ridiculous that for one day of every week, all the shops shut and no work gets done. Boo! Capitalism! Boo! I know. It's the Ninth God's holy day, but the day he rested after slaughtering the other gods like cattle. But must it interrupt trade? I'm leaving profit off on the table. And need I remind you that the March is the economic powerhouse keeping the kingdom afloat? No, it's not. We should receive special dispensation. You want to carry on working through the day of rest? Not me, personally. Just my employees. This is sacrilege, by the way! How long have you been standing there? The Ninth ensures I appear when I am most needed. I assure you, High Inquisitor, I have nothing but the utmost devotion to the Ninth, but I need to think about my profits. What should we do? A, allow people to work on holy days, but only in the march. So that means, the wealth of the march will grow, but their faith will go down and their trade will go up. B, allow people to work on holy days throughout the kingdom. This will cause some defiance happening. Stability will go down. There will be some faith shuffling. Some trade shuffling. And some money, I think, to everybody, really. Or keep the weekly day of rest. But I need my day off. Me too. Well, you can only spark a rebellion if your defiance is high enough, so you would need to vote for something that raises your defiance. Which would probably be, keeping the day of rest. You're going to burn. All of you! The Inquisitor is right. The Council will pay for its sacrilege. My country folk will never accept this. Defiance is now insolent. Grandy Fern Design's words prove prophetic. The South is gripped by religious riots for weeks as a result of the Council's ruling. Any merchants daring to operate during holy days are mobbed. Stability is now stable. It went up and then it went down. In the end, only the March actually takes advantage of the new law. Elsewhere, merchants shut down on holy days just as before. Trade is now opulent, defiance is now aloof, faith is now agnostic, and Russian Spy 3's wealth has increased from 150 to 900. Hey, look, more heresy. Your esteemed highness, I bring troubling news. Someone took the knight's name in vain again? Not quite, your highness. A group of individuals in the March are meeting in secret to preach heretical teachings and engage in rituals. They are disciples of the 10th. They believe that one day a prophesied 10th god save us from the apocalypse that the 9th is setting in motion as we speak. Dangerous nonsense. Regrettably, I require the Council's permission to launch a proper investigation. Otherwise, my Inquisitors would have destroyed the cult before it had the chance to spread. Where is this? Do we vote on this? No, I want my authority to go up. The High Inquisitor is delighted and gets to work right away. The nobles, however, are less delighted. They clamor about official procedure and overreach of the church. Fortunately, they can't argue with results. The disciples of the 10th are soon rooted out, and their fetid corpses swaying from the battlements of Augsburg, this town where the cult began. Well, how about this? I will do the taxes. We'll see if you guys can rebel, and then we'll call it for the night. Gotta sort out my monies here. I want Yellow's defiance to go down, so bribe them. And yeah, that's fine. Okay. That's gonna be it for tonight. I think this is a good place to leave off. That tax bracket shit is super helpful for you, right? I can just, like, pay people off. I love that. I hope you have a wonderful night. Oh my gosh, I hope the rest of the week is great for you. No stream tomorrow. You enjoyed this? I'm glad. Like, it really seems, like, unapproachable, right? But then, like, when you start getting into it, it's really fun. It's just like we're all, like, playing a little board game at the table and eating snacks and getting cozy. It's funny. It's fun. Can you rate anybody? Oh, Duke's still streaming. Awesome. Let's rate Duke of Ash. It's his birthday today. And he just had his debut last week. He's a shark VTuber. He's really cool. And he's playing some Minecraft for his birthday. So let's all jump in and say happy birthday. I know it's Fern's birthday too. It's lots of people's birthday today. So let's say happy birthday to Duke. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Goodbye. Bye-bye.